Okay, so I've never actually told this story to anyone fully. Like, my friends know bits and pieces of it, but nobody knows the whole thing. And I figured, you know what? What better place to share the most embarrassing moment of my entire life than to a bunch of strangers while I play Roblox? Makes sense. So, this is the story of my first kiss, and I'm warning you right now, it did not go well, like at all. This is not one of those cute stories where everything works out and it's all magical. This is a disaster from start to finish, but that's kind of why it's a good story, so just stick with me. Alright, so this was back in like 8th grade. So I was 13, almost 14, and there was this girl. I'm gonna call her Emma. That's not her real name, but whatever. And Emma was like the girl. You know what I mean? Like, in every grade, there's that one person that everybody kind of has a thing for. And for me, it was Emma. She sat 2 seats over from me in science class, and I'm pretty sure I learned absolutely nothing that entire semester because I was just looking at the back of her head the whole time. Real productive. And here's the thing. I was not a smooth kid, like at all. I was the kind of kid who would rehearse saying hey to someone and still mess it up. So the idea of me actually talking to Emma, let alone anything else, was basically science fiction. But then something crazy happened. We got partnered up for a science project, and I swear when the teacher read out the pairs and said my name and her name together, I think my soul left my body for a second. Like, I genuinely don't remember the next 5 minutes of that class. I just kind of came back to reality, and we were supposed to be building a model volcano together. So now we're actually talking, we're texting about the project, we're meeting up at lunch to work on it, and slowly I start realizing, wait, she's actually really cool. Like, she's funny, she's easy to talk to, and she doesn't seem to think I'm a complete weirdo, which was honestly a win in my book. And over like 2 weeks of working on this project, something shifts. You know that feeling when you can just tell something's there? Like, the conversations start lasting longer than they need to. You start finding excuses to text about stuff that has nothing to do with the volcano. I'd be like, hey, did you do the math homework at 9 p.m. just to have a reason to talk to her? Smooth, I know. So fast forward, the project's basically done, and one day after school we're hanging out by the lockers just talking. And the hallway's pretty empty because most people already left. And there's this moment where the conversation just kind of stops. And we're both just standing there, and I can feel it. Like, my brain is going, this is the moment, do something. And here's where I need to explain something about myself. I had never kissed anyone. Obviously, it's literally the title of the story. But more than that, I had no idea what I was doing. Like, my entire knowledge of kissing came from movies. That's it. So in my head, I'm picturing these big, dramatic movie moments where the music swells and everything's perfect. That was my reference point. A bad one, as it turns out. So I go for it. And I want you to understand, I did not go for it smoothly. There was no smooth lean in. I basically just launched myself forward. Like, I committed way too hard and way too fast. And because I had zero experience and was running purely on movie logic and pure adrenaline, I completely misjudged the distance. And I headbutted her. I'm not even exaggerating. I full on cracked my forehead into her forehead. There was an audible noise in the empty hallway. It echoed. I heard it bounce off the lockers. And we both just kind of stumble back, and she's holding her head and I'm holding my head. And for a second, neither of us says anything. And I'm just standing there thinking, okay, well, that's it. My life is over. I have to move to a different country now. But here's the thing. She starts laughing, not in a mean way. Like, she's actually laughing, holding her forehead, and she goes, "Did you just headbutt me?" And I'm so flustered I can't even form words. I think I said something like, just complete nonsense. And honestly, if the story ended there, it would have been fine. Embarrassing, but kind of cute even. Like a funny little story. But no, it got worse. Because I had to go and try to recover. So she's laughing, and in my panicked little brain, I'm thinking, okay, salvage this, salvage this. And instead of just laughing along and letting the moment breathe, I decide the move is to immediately go in for a second attempt. Right away, no recovery time, while she's still laughing. And because she's laughing, her face is moving. She's not expecting me to come back in that fast. So I lean in again, and this time instead of headbutting her, I just kind of get the corner of her mouth and part of her cheek. Like, it was barely even a kiss, it was more of a graze, a drive-by, if you will. And this is the part that haunts me, because I was so nervous and my mouth was dry from panicking. When I pulled back, my lip kind of stuck, and it made this little sound. I'm not going to describe it further. Just know it was not a good sound. It was the least romantic sound a human being can produce. And at this point, Emma is fully losing it. Like, she's bent over laughing, and I am standing there, having now both headbutted this girl and made an ungodly noise at her, just wishing the floor would open up and swallow me whole. So you'd think, okay, surely it's over now, surely he stops. No. because my pride could not take it. I had built this moment up in my head for 2 weeks, and it was crumbling. And some broken part of my brain refused to accept defeat. So I go, okay, hold on, let me... Third time's the charm. Third time. Who says that? Who, in the middle of the most disastrous kiss in human history, says, third time's the charm? Apparently me, at 13. And to her credit, to her absolute credit, Emma, still laughing, goes, okay, but slower this time, you maniac. And honestly, that one line probably saved my entire middle school experience because she could have just walked away. She could have told everyone. But instead, she gave me a third shot. And the third time, it actually worked. Like, it was a real, actual, normal kiss. Brief, but normal. No headbutting, no weird noises, no casualties. And for like one beautiful second, it was everything I'd built up in my head. And then the janitor turned the corner with his cart. And we just immediately jumped apart like we'd been caught committing a crime. And the janitor just looks at us completely unbothered and goes, "You kids need to head home." And that was it. That was the end of my first kiss. Headbutt. Weird noise. Third time's the charm, and then escorted out by a janitor. So here's the thing though, and this is why I actually love this story now, even though it was mortifying at the time. Emma and I ended up dating for like 4 months after that, which in middle school terms is basically a lifelong marriage. And the headbutt became our whole inside joke. Like, she'd literally introduce me to her friends as, "This is the guy who headbutted me," which honestly fair. We broke up eventually. Nothing dramatic, we just kind of drifted like middle school relationships do. But I genuinely think about that moment all the time, because at 13, I was so convinced it had to be perfect. Like the movies. And it was the complete opposite of perfect. It was clumsy and loud, and a janitor was involved, and somehow that made it way more memorable than if it had gone smoothly. Like, if my first kiss had been some perfect cinematic moment, I probably wouldn't even remember it that well. But because it was a complete train wreck, I remember every single second. The sound the lockers made, the janitor's exact words, all of it. So I guess if there's a lesson here, it's like, stop trying to make stuff perfect. The awkward, embarrassing, headbutty moments are the ones you actually keep. The perfect ones kind of just blur together. Anyway, that's the story of how I headbutted a girl, made a noise I refused to describe, said third time's the charm, and somehow still got a girlfriend out of it. If you've got a first kiss story that's even half as bad as mine, please put it in the comments, because I need to know I'm not the only one out here causing physical injuries. Genuinely.